Okay.
So the past couple of weeks, I've been working on advancements and challenges in solution phase synthesis, silver dope, cesium, bismuth, bromide, perovskites. So what are perovskites? Perovskites is a material with a unique crystal structure. The specific arrangement of atoms gives perovskites special properties that can make use of different types of technologies. Perovskites are typically assembled by combining three different types of atoms, one large, one medium, one small. These atoms come together in a regular pattern to form a repeating 3D structure known as an ABX3 crystal structure. And in the structure, the large cation, the blue sphere, sits in the space created by the corners of the octahedra formed by the B cations. And the B cations, or the gray spheres, are located in the center of each octahedral, while the X anions, or the purple spheres, are located in the corners. And the X cations are typically halogens, which are bromine, and or iodine. And different shapes of perovskites can form different groups. Can be formed using different combinations of elements, which can lead to different applications. What are the applications? Perovskites are typically used in solar cells, laminating devices, resistive switching memory devices, and X-ray sensors. They are semiconductors, so they can be used in a lot of different applications. What makes perovskites good for the application of their excellent materials due to their high absorption coefficients, which allow them to efficiently absorb a broad range of the light spectrum. And they also have long carrier diffusion lengths, which enable electron holes and holes generated by light absorption to travel long distances without refilling. And the tunable band gaps of perovskites allow their properties to be adjusted for specific uses, as well as they can synthesize using low-cost materials and simple solution-based processes. They're relatively low tolerant of defects, allow high-quality films to be produced with simpler fabrication techniques. And the structural and composition diversity of perovskites enable the design of the materials with specific characteristics for specific applications, as shown in the previous slide. So we worked with C3BI to BR9, or what we called CBB. Why we chose that is that lead is typically the metal ion found in perovskites. The lead can pose environmental risks and toxicity to humans, which can harm ecosystem and human health if not properly managed. And my group worked with CBB, which is a perovskite material known for its 2D structure, as a vacancy-ordered, all inorganic layered perovskite while being lead-free. And the structure gave CBB interesting properties, but also faces several challenges. And one of the major issues was its weak photoluminescence, or PL, at room temperature, which limits its effectiveness in light-emitting devices. And despite these challenges, the unique characteristics of CBB make it a subject of ongoing research and interest in the field of perovskite materials. My group previously worked on doping CBB with silver to enhance its PL properties, and by introducing silver into CBB via chemical vapor deposition, they created a vacancy-ordered layer perovskite that exhibits broad spectrum, broad room temperature PL at 600 nanometers, and significantly improving its weak PL. And the findings highlighted the potential of silver CBB for advanced optical electrical applications. And how are they typically made? As seen in this interview of Barack Obama at a Intel conference, in the back you see a clean room. Traditional methods of making perovskites involve gas-based techniques that require high temperatures and vacuum conditions, making processes complex and expensive, and oftentimes they need to remain entirely clean, otherwise impurities can affect devices drastically. And how we made them was using solution phase synthesis, which offers many benefits that vapor phase doesn't. It allows processing at lower temperatures under normal conditions, which reduces costs and simplifies the process. And it also provides better control of the material's composition and structure. And for CBB, solution phase synthesis can improve the crystal's quality and purity. And by adjusting the chemical makeup and adding specific elements during the synthesis, we can fine-tune the perovskite properties such as band gap, charge mobility, and emission characteristics. And then later on, dope it with silver, which can lead to better performance and stability of the perovskite-based devices. The methodology for synthesizing CBB involves several key steps. we first tested various solvents such as gamma butyryl acetone, or GBL, ethyl acetate, and dimethyl sulfoxide, or DMSO, and they were tested as precursors of cesium bromide, CSBr, and bismuth bromide, BiBr3, and it was combined in a 3:2 molar ratio. And the perovskite solvent mixture was continuously stirred in silicone oil bath at 80 degrees Celsius overnight, ensuring thorough mixing and dissolution. And following that, different techniques were used to precipitate the perovskite material, including quenching, evaporation of fume hood, and introduction of antisolvents. The mixture was then centrifuged by separating the solid and liquid phases, with the solid residue being rinsed with IPA to obtain a powder. The powder was then analyzed using X-ray diffraction, XRD, to determine the crystal structure and verify the successful synthesis of the CBB perovskite. And trials were documented for effectiveness of the solvents in dissolution processes, with some solvents showing more promise in dissolving the precursor and aiding instances of high-quality CBB. This is what our CBB looked like, and the results of our experiment indicated varying levels of success with different solvents in dissolving the cesium bromide and the bismuth bromide. DMSO showed the most promise, producing almost clear solutions with minimal undissolved solids, while other solvents like acetone, isopropanol, and ethanol resulted in cloudy solutions with significant amounts of undissolved material. The use of those solvents facilitated the formation of the desired CBB perovskite, as it was confirmed by our XRD analysis. And the DSMO solvents in particular were effective in enhancing crystalline impurities. And for our XRD, this is what an XRD looks like. The top four are simulation references of what the two precursors at the top looked like in XRD, and then what the silver dope looked like, and then what CBB should look like. And as you can see, the CBB that we made in number 31 aligns with the peaks of the reference CBB, which shows successful CBB creation. And then these were our other three CBBs that we made, with the reference being at the bottom. And as you can see, some of these samples, like 42, don't align with every single peak, while others, like the 45, have more consistency with the peak shown in reference. And that could be for different reasons of impurities or other things being, or CBB not actually being made, but looking similar. So you have to judge, you have to line up the peaks and judge whether it's similar enough. And the next steps is we incorporate silver into cesium bismuth bromide. As before, my group did it with vapor phase, but now we want to do it with solution phase. And we can do this by introducing silver during the solution phase synthesis process. And we can experiment with various concentrations and to identify the optimal level that enhances properties without compromising crystal quality or creating double perovskites. Advances characteristics such as we can use XRDs, SCMs, and TEMs in order to figure out whether the silver is actually doped within it. And then we could test the PL of it as HE CBB produces a yellow light. And I would like to thank Dr. Kim for letting me join his group, and then Caitlin Ewald for guiding me along these past couple weeks, and the rest of the Kim group for helping me, as well as Dr. Richmond and my fellow HSHSP peers for being here. Thank you.
Questions for Sean? Go ahead, Alex.
Yes.
So if you're adding this structural component of the silver into the perovskite crystal, would that potentially change the other characteristics of the perovskite, like in general, with the luminescence?
Well, typically CBB doesn't have PL at room temperature. The introduction of silver gives it the luminescence. But it can also change other properties of when you actually perovskites are good because depending on what you want to use it for, like solar panels or memory devices, you can change it in different ways. So silver can help it in when it's used in solar panels and just change the properties enough.
Any other questions for Sean? Nobody from the research group to ask him anything? All fair. All right, thanks, Sean.